What's up, everybody? Welcome to Biockickz 3 Raw TV. Unfiltered today, you can see him right here. Phil Hernon. Phil, it's been a long time since we first got in touch. I think it's been about 12 years now since we first met in a forum. I think it's 2005.
Really? That
Yeah.
long? You were pro wrestling, right?
I was just getting done with the pro wrestling. I had been injured and got out of the pro wrestling. I was getting back into competing. And I joined the forum where, we were all hanging out. And
Yeah.
I remember seeing your name, and I was like, is that really him? Because, you don't know who's who, if it's somebody lying or making it up and stuff.
Why would they pick me, though? You know
I
what I'm
know. You'd be surprised. People pick the most random people,
They would
like.
probably do Jerry Rice or something.
And I remember thinking, wow, is that really Phil Hernon? And little background for everybody on here that's watching this that don't know. It was 2012 that Phil and I first started working together. In 2012 and 2013, when we did the Delaware, it was the Delaware, was the most shredded I had ever been.
I remember that.
And it was eating all fruit, which everybody thought I was completely nuts. They thought I was training like 40 minutes a day and eating all fruit, and they were like, "There's no way. Like, there's just no way."
And there was a way.
Yeah.
I just wanted to show that you could do it.
Well, I remember you saying, like, just let me, give me a chance. I know what to do with you. And I was like, how does he know what to do with me?
It's like my friend said, you can do the Mediterranean diet, right?
Yeah.
Which is, bread and olive oil and, fruits and vegetables. Or you could do the keto diet, which is like pretty much protein and no carbs.
Yeah.
But if you combine them, you just might as well eat pizza. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it sounds like a diet for me right there.
And you can't combine them. You got to do one. You got to either do fruits, I think, or you got to do starches.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to get used to one or the other. That's what I subscribe to.
I mean,
I thought fruits were the best way because they're mostly water, enzymes, and vitamins and minerals, and they're raw. I mean, how can you eat that? You know what I mean?
Well, some people under the impression it only, like, the fructose only replaces liver glycogen and stuff. And I remember,
not all fruits are all fructose. You know what I'm saying? This is small portions of them.
I mean, it worked. I mean, I was eating pineapple. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I didn't like is when we had to carb up. I was eating cantaloupe. I was eating like 2 pounds of cantaloupe at a time.
No, I know.
It was like you're excited to eat, and then all of a sudden you're like, I don't want to eat this anymore.
No, I know.
But I'm complaining because I got to eat too much, right? I mean,
I know. We're lucky in this country we have food to eat. People starving. We're like, oh, I'm only eating 2,500 calories today. I mean.
All right, I want to start out with, I first came in kind of finding out who you were in about 1995. Of course, the Serious Growth ads. They had your pictures on there of the transformation you had made.
I think it was 1991.
So I bought the Serious Growth 3, but I had seen your pictures. I never actually got my hands on the first Serious Growth.
Okay.
Now, that was like the Tom Platz thing that they were doing back then.
Yeah, Russell Horine, Tom Platz was one of their models. Leo Costa Jr. was the main guy. It was brilliant guys out in Bakersfield, California. Good guy. Visalia, California. I'm sorry. Really smart guys. Bob Pierce. We're all real. Did a lot of research. Went over to Bulgaria, talked to the lifters, and came out with this program. It was fantastic, I thought.
Now, were you training like that before you met them, or?
No, I started training somewhat. That's why we kind of hooked up because they looked at my training. Said, this guy's doing similar stuff, right? Yeah. John Olson, my trainer, and I were doing similar stuff. So that's why we kind of hooked up, and it was kind of a good marriage from there at that point on.
So I remember seeing the transformations, and it was like a drastic transformation on that picture of you. And everybody was just like that, what the hell is he doing? So, I bought the program, and then I bought the anabolic diet with it. Yeah. It was like a 2 for, special.
Yeah.
And we even went as far as buying the Serious Growth Critical Mass supplement. That was like the aminos and the primer and the aminos.
Great expensive.
Yes.
The best B6, I think it's pyridoxal 5-phosphate. It was such a rare product that we didn't know how legal it was to sell it because the guy that made our formulation for us out of Mesa, Arizona, was scared to drive it home from the lab. I mean, because we didn't know how legal it was to use those top products. We just didn't know yet.
Yeah.
We used the top of it was expensive product, but I loved that stuff. I mean, that was amazing stuff. They had a great amino acid stuff too.
It was hydrolyzed aminos, and you had to take like 10 or 12 of them or something like that after the workout.
Open the bottle, it hit you hard.
Yeah.
It was strong stuff. They put a great product out. I wish I could get it today. I really do. It was awesome.
I think it was sodium bicarbonate was also in the critical mass, they called it. Like you take it before.
Could have
Kill
been.
buffer. Yeah, it was like a shake that you took before, like a powder.
Uh,
The aminos after, and I actually wound up taking Tribustan. Um,
Tribustan. We brought that over from. I met a guy named Jordan Kocha. In fact, Zoran Maxic introduced him to me. He was a Bulgarian lifter. They had Tribustan over in Sweden, and I went there to guest post in '89, and I brought it back home. I was the first one to bring Tribustan over with Emmerich Delchek. We also brought creatine over back in '88.
It was a creatine phosphate, right? It wasn't the creatine
monohydrate. It was little vials of liquid.
Energix.
Keep them together, and you drink it.
Yep.
It was creatine. And everybody goes, "Oh, creatine's the greatest stuff in the world." I'm thinking, well, I've been using it for 6 months. It's not that great.
Right.
You know? It's okay, you know.
I remember I bought them. It was called Energix, and you pushed the little button down, and it dropped it in the vial. You shake it up, and you took it.
You must have had a good connection because there was very few of them around.
I don't remember. Like, it was the same place that we were ordering the programs from. Like, we get these like things in the mail that would tell you something's coming out.
It was straight from the pharmacy over there in Bulgaria. Straight from over there.
So
you had a good connection. Obviously, you had a good connection because there was very few of them.
I had no idea. That makes me feel better about it.
Yeah, you really did. I love those products. I really did.
Let me see what else we got here. So now, we talked about the keto diet. You do either the keto or the Mediterranean. How do you feel about? It seems like you're going more towards the keto diet now, even before.
I'm not. I'm not personally.
You're not using the keto diet now, or?
No, I never would.
Okay. So, what do you think about the keto?
Think it harms the kidneys.
You think it harms the kidneys?
I think it's hard on the kidneys.
It's hard on the kidneys.
I like eating more of the Mediterranean diet. It's just a well-rounded, healthy diet.
Yeah. So you're doing like the overall, basically a little bit of carbs, a little bit of fats, a little bit of protein.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people get too caught up in this mountain dog diet or mountain man diet or whatever kind of diet. It's not going to make you build muscle. Your genetics are going to make you build muscle. Your training is going to make you build muscle. Your supplementation is going to make you build muscle. Diets are there to support you.
Right.
To give you what you need. These guys go, "Oh, I'm on a new diet now." Well, whoop-de-doo. Nothing's going to change. You know what I mean? These guys switch diets all the time. You don't eat the same foods every day.
Right.
So your diet is basically changing every day. Let's be honest. It changes every day. So to say that I'm on a certain kind of diet is kind of ridiculous. It's just, you got to just follow the trends of your body. And that's basically what I do.
Well, listening to your body is a big thing that you. So again, for people that don't know what's going on, the guy that you guys see here right now, I learned a lot about recovery and listening to my body and, not going with the punches, but changing as your body adapts, which, before I started training with you, I trained with Kevin Levroni before I trained with you, who taught me a lot about instinctual training and stuff like that. I mean, Kevin was very like that. And then when I started working with you, again, it was like hammered home that it's like, it's going to have to change with you.
I think it's kind of a misnomer to say listen to my body because my body will tell me to eat junk. You know what I mean? I think it's more observing the body. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my body tells me to eat pizza. Me and my wife are just talking about it, like, you feel like getting some chicken and rice? No, I feel like getting some pizza, but I'll get the chicken and rice. Like,
yeah, what if my body telling me?
I'll settle for the chicken and rice.
Yeah. I want some wine right now,
Now, again, another topic I want to top on was recovery. Now, I feel like people grossly misunderstand the concept of recovery. And, you'll see these guys doing these crazy workouts and stuff, and they're like, well, there's no such thing as overtraining. And I'm like, technically that's true. Your muscles can recover.
Then why are these guys so small?
Right. I mean, they should be able to train body parts every day and grow,
they just,
faster.
They're repeating what someone said. They're repeating what their guru told them. I mean, oh my God, then just keep going. Don't rest tonight. Just keep training. Don't go to sleep.
I mean, a lot of people, they take it as, the central nervous system. They don't even think about that. They're thinking about, well, can the muscle recover? And, muscles can recover faster than your central nervous system, but do you believe it's better? And I worked with you, so I'm not sure if things have changed since then, but as far as, what we would do is like do a kind of a active rest, active recovery. Like we never really stopped training. You would just kind of cut back on the sets a little bit. And
I never understood why, as cavemen, that I don't think would go out hunting like on a Monday and then, well, I'm going to wait till Friday again.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't do it if I'm too sore.
Right.
It depends on getting a cow down or whatever you're chasing, the moose, every day.
Yeah.
You got to use those muscles every day. You don't have to use them all day long.
Right.
But yeah, so I believe training every muscle every day is you're made to use muscles every day. You're not made to beat them into submission every day.
Right.
Because you can't recover and there's not enough energy to recover in the foods you're going to eat. So you have to kind of balance it. It's like standing on a Bosu ball. I got to know where to stand. I got to know where to balance. I got to know how to have balance in my life. I got to know how much to do.
Right.
It takes time to figure that out,
So why do you think so many people, I mean, do you think it's just a sign of the times that they want everything now? So they're like, I'll just train more now and I'll grow more now? Or...
for information and get from point A to point Z as fast as possible, that we're just going to go from what we heard, the first thing we heard, and try to hopefully it was right.
Yeah.
Instead of taking time to kind of scientifically figure out what's working, what's happening with my body.
Right.
Because I've had a lot of time, I'm 51 years old. I've had a lot of time since I was 12 years old to figure it out. And if I can figure out that standing on a Bosu ball, lifting light weights, does the same thing as busting my butt with squats and deadlifts in it, why would I want to do all that heavy lifting when I don't have to? I mean, why?
It's
all about hormonal responses.
It's the stress, and we've talked about a little bit on Facebook and stuff like that about the growth hormone response to the training. And I don't know if you remember, there was a girl that's been on my channel before, and I used to work with her. Her name is Ani, the Bulgarian girl, the little Bulgarian girl.
Sure, little girl. Yes.
Yeah. So she trained, since she started training, she has only done Bosu, TRX, and it's been about 10 or 11 years, and she's always ripped. Always.
No, one so lean, and her skin is...
It made no sense to me, and we could never figure out how she was doing it, and she didn't know either. She was just doing it. That's why. She constantly trained with the growth hormone high.
You want to be lean, you want to look younger, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, and we had no idea.
Loaded. When you don't have not only the central nervous system pumping out growth hormone and lowering cortisol, but not telling the body where to go, you're going to be a bloated mess.
Right.
With the balancing, your central nervous system tells the hormones exactly where to go.
Now, if we'd have told you 10 years ago, training with a Bosu ball is just as effective as regular squats, would you have been like, there's no way?
I said it. Yeah. You guys, now, these guys, unbeknownst to them, didn't know.
Right.
They just thought it was core training because it hurt their core.
Right.
But it actually was making them seasick from the hormone output. Right. It wasn't until this year that John Jacobs did a meta-study of 27 studies and found the exact same result. Growth hormone upregulation, cortisol downregulation when the body is off balance.
Interesting.
Now, he told me, Phil, you're doing too many off-balance things. Because when I'm done working out for a half hour, I feel sick. He goes, back off on the off-balance stuff. Keep one foot on the ground or don't do as many reps or whatever. And he's right, because he said you cannot inject that much growth hormone. And he's right. I mean,
it makes you feel weird? It
makes you feel like you've been on a ship. It's horrible. Yeah, but when you push yourself like I do, it sucks. I dread it. And it's not lifting heavy weights. It's 20-pound dumbbell. It's like weird. It's like your body's beat, but your muscles aren't.
It's still stress. I mean, it's still stress on your body, so it's easy to stress.
My shoulders hurt anymore, no joint pain, nothing. It's amazing.
Crazy. I was talking to a guy in my gym. He only works with people that are impaired, like amputees and people with cerebral palsy and stuff like that. And he was saying, I can't remember, I think it was cerebral palsy or Parkinson's, whichever one it was, where they basically have a hard time controlling their body. Parkinson's, I think, and they have to try to control it. And he said they literally, they shake. He said they're really off balance, and they constantly have to be trying to balance. And he goes, these people can eat anything they want all day long. He goes, and they won't gain a single pound. He goes, they just eat ice cream and junk, and he goes, they won't gain a pound. He goes, their body literally is trying to balance all day long.
I bet they're breathing really hard, too, because when you have to balance, every muscle in your body is firing. Like John said, what's your shoulders have to do with you bouncing on the Bosu ball? I said, nothing. He goes, everything.
Huh.
That it simulates a sprint. Like when you sprint, you don't upregulate growth hormone or downregulate cortisol until your head is stable. That's at your top speed, not mine.
Right.
At your top speed, your head is finally stable. That's when your body's upregulating growth hormone and downregulating cortisol. Whatever that speed is, it's all different for us. Whenever your head is stable, you jog and you're moving. When you hit that top speed, your head stabilizes. That's when your body goes into this hormonal response. Well, that's the same thing with the Bosu ball. Your head is stable, and your body is simulating sprinting. That's why the hormones are going kind of crazy in your body, and you feel it. When you're done with that Bosu ball, you feel like you just ran. It's amazing.
So is your whole workout using a Bosu ball now, or?
I try to, yeah. I pretty much.
I did, I didn't even think about doing. I've been doing like the one-legged squats, like bench squats, for about a month.
I just lift my leg off the ground. That's
all I do. That's what I didn't do a Bosu. I was doing that. And I saw this girl at the gym last week doing pistol squats with a TRX. And I thought, that's an interesting way to get all the way down since I don't have the balance yet. So I did them yesterday. And let me tell you.
You don't want to hold on, I think, because that defeats the purpose.
It was 3 sets, and I felt like I got hit by a Mack truck. And it was just my body weight.
You can put your back foot on the flat part of the Bosu ball and put it out in front of you and do lunges on that foot.
Yeah.
And you're still balancing, right? It's awesome. Put one leg out in front of you, one leg on the ball, on the flat part, and do your lunges and rotate legs. It's crazy.
So it's like a Bulgarian split squat on a Bosu ball.
It's crazy. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's another thing to torture myself with the next leg workout.
Yeah, if I do one set, that's it. Done. I mean, there's no way I can do more.
So, this is going to be like a question that I'm pretty much going to be asking everybody on this show is, what is different about Phil Hernon now than 20 years ago? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things that have changed, but if you look back and you say, this is something that's so different that it's not even, I mean, obviously using a Bosu ball is super different than what you were doing 20 years ago, but, you know, outside of bodybuilding, because you really kind of changed my ideas about a lot of things of life in general. Like you're like trying to convince me not to compete for a while. You're like, just live life and enjoy yourself and stop worrying about, you know, getting big and all this stuff. And it took a little while to sink in, but
I hate to see people tortured, Jerry. You know, I hate to see it. I myself was tortured.
Yeah.
I hate to see. I don't want my children tortured. I don't want friends tortured with this, because your life's going to be over one day. It's going to be like, what did I waste my time trying to impress upon others how great I was, or whatever, you know. I mean, if you can just accept yourself. I was thinking about that today. This question you just asked me, I was thinking about that today. My answer to that is I had no confidence in myself. Zero. I always thought I was less than normal. That drove me, I think, to my fanaticism, you know. But now I look back, I think I am normal. You know, I'm normal. I'm not below average on anything, and I felt bad that I was always felt like I was behind the 8 ball in everything I did.
Yeah.
Because I always felt like I was at a disadvantage and I had to bust my butt so hard to get there and figure it out or study it or whatever. And it consumed me, you know.
So even though you went and you were competing with Dennis Newman and Craig Titus and you won your pro card and
scared to death.
You still didn't feel confident in yourself then?
Oh, friggin', I couldn't take my shirt off at the pool.
Really?
I wouldn't take my shirt. Oh, hell no. I was scared to death. No one saw what I looked like until I was on stage.
You were on the cover of Muscular Development, and you couldn't go to the pool.
Never.
Crazy.
Never. Didn't want to take my clothes off around my wife. Nothing.
Huh. And now you feel different about that now. Like you're just like, I'm...
But I'm Lexapro now, so I had a lot of anxiety. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, it calms it down.
And I couldn't really look at people in the face or talk to them. I was keep my head down. I was shy. It's awkward social situations. I don't know how to act, or I don't know how to stand or what to do. You know, I was always a loner. You know, I just didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel like I was one of the fit-in people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was on my own. You know what I mean? But now I understand that we all only have 2 eyes, and we all see outwardly, and we're all alone, and we all feel like we're the only ones left out.
Right.
So we all got to embrace each other and make everybody feel comfortable. And when you do that, it takes the kind of onus off yourself. And you feel like thinking of others first, and you forget about your selfish insecurities, you know?
You've been trying to help people for a long time. I remember in the forums and stuff, you gave out a lot of information. You know,
I tried.
I mean, it seemed like it was all bodybuilding related, though, but it seems like in the last 5 or 6 years, you know, like we've talked on the phone about personal things and stuff, and you know, shared things about like my personal experiences with relationships. I mean, you remember my relationships that were going on.
I felt bad for you. Like yeah, I knew one of the girls was weird. You know, I didn't want to tell you anything. I don't want to hurt your feelings. She was hot. A Korean girl, whatever her name was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, you could have warned me too. You know, we're both helping each other out.
But now it seems like you've kind of really gone towards, you know, the health aspect, which it has influenced me. I don't know if you know that, but it has influenced me. Like I take a probiotic and kefir every day.
I appreciate that.
I take the apricot seeds every day. I take apple cider vinegar and lemon every day before I go to bed. I use Humanofort every day before bed. I take the fulvic acid every day before bed. I mean,
that's awesome.
Doing stuff that before I didn't really care about, but I guess maybe because I'm 41 and I'm starting to I'm phased out of the competition thing, and it's not, you know, it's not important anymore. And I'm like, okay, now I'm married to someone who actually I want to be around. And I kind of want to get old, so that, you know, let's see if we can extend this.
Yeah. Now you should have your prostate checked every day.
I know, like it kind of freaked me out, to be honest with you. When we're gonna get into like
not
all the
every
whole
day.
thing, not every day, but but when you came out and talked about, we're gonna talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
I was like, Phil's doing everything right. You know what I mean? Like he's doing everything, eating the right way, and he's not overexerting himself in the gym and stuff, and he's doing everything. How can that happen? You know what I mean? Like it just.
It would have been a lot worse if I wasn't. I would have been dead.
Really?
The stuff that I'm taking saved my life. Because my father got cancer way earlier than I did.
Same thing with prostate cancer?
And mine is a Gleason score of 6, which means it's very slow growing. It could be 40 years before it kills me. But I don't want it in me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So whatever I'm doing slowed it the hell down, which is great for me. I'll have it taken care of in 44 days. It'll be gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And every man's going to get it. So I might as well get it now and get it over with. And unbeknownst to men, they don't realize that.
Right.
But they don't really call what I have. Some people don't call it cancer because it can turn into something more aggressive very easily.
Yeah.
So you don't want to just let it watch it. So you want to make sure that you take care of either having your prostate out or radiation, or what I'm doing, the IMRT radiation, where they put gold seeds in you.
Yeah.
Radiate them. It's to the millimeter, so it's very tissue gets spared around the prostate, what you want. You don't want any chance of getting radiation out in the bladder or the intestines, because you could get cancer that way too, So you got to be careful.
Yeah. So now
there's a couple different options nowadays that are safe.
Now you start the treatment. When do you start the treatment? Soon, right?
Yeah, in a couple weeks. Now, I had no PSA that was high.
That's the thing. It's like there's no warning. There was zero warning. All of a sudden,
it was soft and small, my prostate. But because of my family history, he said, "Let me give you a biopsy." I said, "No, I canceled it."
Right.
I said, "That's ridiculous." I had a free PSA. Now the free PSA tells you more. If your free PSA is over 25%, okay, and your PSA is between 4 and 10, which mine was not. Mine was 3. If it's between 4 and 10, you get a free PSA. And if it's over 25%, the chances are you don't have cancer. If it's under 25%, there's a good chance you can have cancer. Mine was 38%.
Huh.
And I'm not even between 4 and 10. I'm at 3.
Right.
I'm saying you ain't going back there and checking anything. I'm fine.
Yeah.
He called me a week later and said, "Look, don't be a bitch about this." I go, "Who are you? I don't even know you. You're my new doctor. I just met you."
Right.
And you're talking to me this way. I felt like this guy's kind of rude, but he must care. And I had it done, and I was shaking his hand. I mean, I was shaking his hand after saying, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," because in 2 years I could have had a huge problem, or 5 years, or 10 years, whatever. It's all the same to me, Jerry. 2 years, 10 years is flies by.
Literally. Like Aaron and I were just talking about this the other day. We're like, do you realize it's literally been like 11 years since we met? And I'm like, holy shit, it's over a decade. I've been living in Maryland for over 10 years.
Yeah. I've had friends that died 20 years ago. It seems like yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like
Well,
weird.
They say the older you get, the more time, it goes faster. I honestly believe that.
It does.
The days go by fast, and the weeks go by fast. It'll be Christmas before we blink already.
Yeah. Have you thought about what you're getting me or no?
Humanifor. Always Humanifor. That's the go-to.
I'm looking for my full prostate.
We got some more gold seeds. I didn't even know what those were when you were talking about. I was like, what is he talking about? I'm like,
yeah, I know. They're little gold, actual 24-karat gold seeds.
And they leave them there after they're done with the treatment?
They stick it in the prostate for aim because it reflects blue light.
Huh.
So then the laser can see where to exactly target on the MRI. So no other tissue gets damaged. It's called IMRT. If you ever have a problem, look up IMRT.
IMRT.
It's 1 minute a day radiation for 44 days.
It seems like very little. My father had the radiation and the he had targeted radiation later on also. He had lung cancer, and they did it for lung cancer. And it went away, but he wound up. I haven't talked to you for a little while, but he passed away in October of throat cancer, lung cancer, kidney cancer. I mean, he was loaded. It was crazy. So we got a call on Friday, and they said that he has about 2 weeks to live. We didn't even know he was sick. And then
I've never traveled out there.
It was crazy. It was.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't make it back. He died the next day after they told me he had 2 weeks to live. He died the next day.
time. I remember.
Yeah, it was crazy. But he had the targeted radiation, and the radiation, and it worked. I mean, he got 3 or 4 more years after he was diagnosed with the stage 3.
Right.
So
That's great.
he was able to see my little niece, Chloe, grow up a little bit and stuff. And,
Okay.
He made the most of it. So I do believe that the treatments work. Some people are against the treatments and stuff, but I'm like, look, let's face facts. If you didn't get the treatment, you maybe have a year. You got 3 extra.
What other kind of treatment is there? I mean, it's all treatment.
Yeah. I mean,
let it go is treatment too. It's like, okay, I'm going to watch it or let it go. Or,
right.
I mean, if he had quality of life was okay, at 3 years, it means a lot.
Yeah. No, it was absolutely great till the last
3
6
years
months.
is a long time in jail.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 years is a long time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Do you think that, so I don't even know if you maybe know, you don't have to mention any names or anything like that, but as far as pros that are retired now, having problems like this, that just don't talk about it because they're not embarrassed, but they don't want to have, see what you did to yourself with steroids. And
I know pros that are cholesterol is 500, their HDLs are 0, they have loose skin like a Shar-Pei, they need shoulder replacements, knee replacements, skin cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer. They just don't want to talk about it. The women are the worst off. The women are affected by this. Some of them don't even come outside.
Really?
They won't come outside the house, yeah, because they've changed so much. Their bodies are just destroyed.
Wow.
But you don't hear from them. You don't see these girls that are used to flaunt themselves anymore. They're not around because they're hiding.
Okay.
A lot of people are private. So I understand it. But if it was out in the open more, you obviously hear about the Matarazzos and all the guys dropping dead. You hear about because we have to hear about it. We don't hear about the health issues.
Right. Why do you think don't you think that some of these people should come out and talk about it? Because this generation with the younger kids that are listening to Boston Lloyd and these guys that are just like, they don't think, and I'll be the first to admit, I thought this is the healthiest stuff ever compared to what else is out there. Booze is worse, cigarettes are worse. Like, this is fine. And I'm looking back and a few of my friends have had kidney transplants. A few of them have had heart attacks. I mean, they've had some health issues.
One of my partners has 100% blockage in his heart. I mean, he has to wear a monitor right now. He's a young kid. I mean, a lot of guys have blockages. I mean, they don't even know it.
Yeah.
A lot of guys have prostate cancer and don't know because they don't have insurance.
Yeah.
They just don't know because they don't go to the doctor.
They hate the doctor because they don't want to get lectured at the doctor about what they're doing. I mean, I remember going to the doctor going, oh, shit, here we go. I know my cholesterol is going to be out of whack, and they're going to ask me, or my liver enzymes are up, and they're going to ask me, and I have to tell them. And so they want to avoid that. But, I mean, there was another pro a while back who was like, listen, the best thing you can do is make sure you have insurance and go get your blood work. He was like, I don't care, what anyone says and how scared you are, get your blood work done.
It's scary. I mean, not only blood work, but in-depth blood work. I mean, calcium levels, PTH, you get a Boston heart test. That's the best one. It's very in-depth. Yeah. Get a colonoscopy, get your prostate biopsy, get as many things done as you can. My insurance is so expensive, Jerry. Why not? Just do it. I mean, I've actually lowered my blood pressure medicine since I've lost some weight. Now I'm on a plant-based diet now. I'm cutting out my protein. And my blood pressure right now is like 90/60, so I kind of got to get off my meds.
Oh, wow.
Because I was on blood pressure when I was 270, 280.
Yeah.
But now I'm 280 anymore, So, and I don't want to be. I feel way better now. Way better. And I think the key to life now is just feeling good, not having to be big for anybody else. I mean, no one cares how big you are.
Well, the thing is, like, you get so big, like that 270 mark, you got there, and kind of as you're getting bigger, you're kind of adapting to it. You don't really realize how bad you're feeling till you lose weight, and then you're like, wow, I feel so much better.
You look.
Right.
How bad you look.
Yeah.
I mean, it really looks stupid. There's no functionality there. I remember watching Ronnie Coleman running flip-flops on the beach on Jay Leno. It was like they were making fun of him. You know what I mean? It was now he can barely walk. I mean, it's sad. It looks like a sideshow. I see these guys nowadays being signed to these contracts, and it's pressure to take all these drugs.
Right.
And they're 25 years old. I mean, what are they going to do when they're 50?
They don't see that, and I didn't either. I understand where they're coming from because I didn't see it at all.
You got 50 more years left. Ronnie Coleman anywhere for 40 more years.
He's actually back training like hard again. Like he's doing leg presses with some decent weight, and I'm like, wait a minute, he has 2 hip replacements.
Why?
Like, what the hell?
Why? You're gonna ruin that hip replacement.
So he's gonna wear it out quick.
Yeah.
But
why?
it's in his blood. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I've walked around the expos now, and I walk around about 195 pounds compared to the 250 I was before, and I'm a lot smaller than a lot of these guys. But now I look at them, like, their faces are all red and swollen, and they're inflamed.
It's horrible.
And they walk around, like, with their lats sticking out, and I was like,
horrible.
Did I look like that? I'm like, I thought I looked good. Did I look like that?
You were very aesthetic. I'm telling you, you had a nice physique. You were very aesthetic. That you had all going for you. The only issue was you weren't pushing it. Yeah. You weren't pushing, and that's why you look so healthy right now. Well, that's why you're not going to change much between now and 80 years old.
I hope so.
You're going to look the same, and you're going to be alive and healthy, and you didn't push the drugs. And I remember training you. Yeah. You didn't.
I mean, I didn't do anything to be symmetrical. It's just kind of my genetics. So it kind of got to the point where it's like I got to the point where I didn't really want to push it like that.
It's your luck of the draw. It's not your fault. You just had great genetics.
Right. The drugs never appealed to me. Like, I didn't like doing them. You know what I mean? Like, when I was younger, I liked doing them. I thought they were cool when I was like 20, 21.
Here's the problem. You can take a guy with great genetics who doesn't take a lot of drugs, and he looks like a decent bodybuilder. And he get made fun of by guys who have shittier genetics, who are loaded to the gills on drugs, who actually look better momentarily. But if they got off drugs, they'd be half the guy's size.
Right.
But making fun of them because they're on so many drugs, it's so sick and twisted that it's such a sick mentality to make fun of somebody because they're not as big and lean as you are because they're not on the drugs you're on.
I don't think they believe that the drugs do that much. And I don't think they think that I've heard it over and over again. And Dorian said this in our interview. He said, well, when you stop taking the drugs, he goes, you lose it all. And so many people are like, no, you keep most of it. You just got to keep training.
Look at Dorian.
I'm like, he said straight out, he's like, there's no way. There's no way you're going to keep that muscle.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Jerry.
The guys that are saying they stopped taking it and they maintain it are still taking something. You know what I mean? That's how they're maintaining it.
When you have the stimulus, your body responds in kind.
Right.
When you remove the stimulus, your body doesn't stay there.
Right.
Your body responds in kind. It goes back to homeostasis, to normal.
Right.
We'd be back to 80 pounds if we stopped lifting weights and took all these drugs, or 120, whatever we were.
Right. I get it, man. Well, Phil, it's getting late, man, and I appreciate your time. I am really stoked to actually do this interview and see you face to face, kind of, for the first time.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
What we'll do is, I'll keep following what's going on with you, and we'll have you back on. We'll put some more questions together, and we'll roll it again.
Anytime.
Thanks, Phil. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Gary. You look great, man.
I appreciate that, man.
Thanks.
Bye-bye. Take care, bud.